let's talk about something we've probably all been told at some point. You get a prescription, and what's the advice? Take it with food, right? It seems like the safe, responsible thing to do, something to prevent an upset stomach. But what if that well-meaning advice was actually a problem? What if the very food you're eating is quietly undermining the medicine you count on every single day to keep you healthy? Today we're going to look into this really surprising interaction, one that could be affecting so many of us without us even realizing it.
So let me ask you this directly. Could you be accidentally sabotaging your own medication? It sounds dramatic, I know, but it's a serious question. We take these medicines to manage our health, trusting they'll do their job. But what if your morning toast, that salad at lunch, or even a small afternoon snack was literally cutting its power, maybe by half or even more? This isn't just a hypothetical. It's a real biochemical process that could be happening inside your body right now.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of the matter. Is food actually harming your medicine? As I said, sometimes taking a pill with food is the right call. It's what your doctor intends. But for a huge number of common medications, this everyday habit creates a major hidden roadblock. Let's really break down what's going on inside our bodies when we mix food and medicine. So, the fundamental problem is actually pretty straightforward. When you have food in your digestive system, it can act like a physical barrier, a roadblock that stops your medicine from getting where it needs to go. For a pill to work, it has to be absorbed into your bloodstream. But if your stomach and intestines are busy breaking down a meal or a snack, that path just isn't clear. The medicine gets caught up in the mix.
And this is the number that really drives the point home. 50%. For some of the most important medications out there, we're talking about drugs for high blood pressure, for diabetes. Taking them at the same time as food can slash their effectiveness by as much as half. Think about that for a second. That means you might only be getting 50% of the benefit that you and your doctor are counting on. You're taking the pill, but you're not getting the full effect. So the question is, why? Why does this happen?
So let's get into the why. This is all about absorption. And the science behind it isn't super complicated, really. But once you understand this simple process, you'll see exactly why the timing of your medication is so critical to making sure it can work at 100% strength.
This slide gives us the perfect way to visualize it. On an empty stomach, your medicine has a clear shot. It's like an open highway at 3 a.m. The pill dissolves, it's absorbed quickly and completely by your system, and it gets right to work. But when you take it with a meal, well, that's like hitting a massive traffic jam right in the middle of rush hour. Everything grinds to a halt. The medicine is stuck, it's blocked, it's delayed, and it can't get to its destination on time or in its complete form.
So let's look at the mechanics of this traffic jam a little closer. First, there's the physical blockage. Food literally coats the lining of your stomach and intestines, creating a barrier the medicine has to get through. Second, the type of food matters. A meal that's heavy in fats or sugars can actually change the chemical environment in your stomach, slowing down how fast the pill dissolves in the first place. The medicine just ends up getting swirled around and diluted by all the digesting food. And the end result of all this? A much smaller amount of the active ingredient actually makes it into your bloodstream. And if the concentration in your blood is too low, the medicine simply can't do its job properly. So now that we get the basic mechanism, let's zoom in on two very specific habits of modern life that make this problem so much worse for so many of us. We're going to look at two main culprits here, the sugar spike and the trap of constant snacking.
First up, the blood sugar spike. Let's be really clear about what this is. Anytime you eat a bunch of sugary food, drink a soda, or even eat a big plate of simple carbs like pasta or white rice, your body converts it to glucose really fast. This floods your bloodstream with sugar, causing a rapid surge. It's an incredibly common thing. Many of us probably experience these spikes multiple times a day without even thinking about it.
So how does this sudden rush of sugar mess with your medication? Well, it throws your whole system for a loop. First, your metabolism has to suddenly shift gears to deal with all that glucose, which can change how it processes a drug at the same time. Second, if this happens a lot, it can lead to chronic low-grade inflammation. And an inflamed body is a stressed body, which can become less sensitive and less receptive to medicine. Basically, these sugar spikes destroy the stable, predictable internal environment that your medication really needs to work effectively.
And that leads us straight to the second big problem, our modern culture of constant snacking. You know what I'm talking about? Grazing. Instead of just having distinct meals, we eat all day long. A few crackers here, a handful of almonds there, a piece of fruit a couple of hours later. It feels like a healthy way to keep your energy up, but for your medication, it creates a constant state of interference. This quote really says it all perfectly. If your digestive system is always working because you're always putting food into it, it never gets a chance to clear out. It's in a perpetual state of digestion. And that means there's never that clean, empty window, that open highway we talked about for your medicine to get absorbed properly and completely. It's always trying to navigate a messy, crowded construction zone.
Okay, so we've covered the problem, and we've covered the reasons why it happens. Now, let's bring it home. Let's make this personal. How can you know if this food interference is an issue for you? Well, your body has ways of sending up red flags, giving you signals that your medicine just isn't working the way it's supposed to.
Okay, this is a huge one. Let's say you're taking your blood pressure pills every single day, just like the doctor ordered. You're doing your part, but when you check your numbers, they're stubbornly high. They're just not budging. You feel like you're doing everything right, but you aren't seeing the progress you expect. That frustrating lack of results could be a direct sign that poor absorption is preventing the medicine from ever reaching its full potential. And it's a very similar story for anyone managing diabetes. This is a major red flag. If you're on medication to keep your blood sugar under control, but your readings are just all over the map, maybe they're always a bit too high or they swing up and down unpredictably, that could absolutely be a sign of interference. The medicine isn't getting into your bloodstream consistently, so it can't give you that steady control you really need.
Now, this one is a bit more general, but it's just as important. It can apply to all sorts of medications, whether it's an anti-inflammatory for your joints or a drug to lower your cholesterol. If you feel like your condition just isn't getting better, your symptoms are just lingering, dragging on and on, even though you're taking your treatment, then poor absorption is a very real possibility that you and your doctor should probably consider.
Now here's where it gets even more serious. Let's think about the long-term risk. When a doctor sees your condition isn't improving, what's the most logical next step for them? Often, it's to increase the dose of your medicine. But here's the problem. If the root cause is poor absorption, a higher dose might not even fix it. It just means you're putting more of a chemical into a system that can't handle it efficiently. And that puts a lot of unnecessary strain on your liver and your kidneys, the amazing organs that have to filter everything that goes into your body.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem, the causes, and the red flags to watch for. But here's the good news. This is something you can absolutely take control of. This isn't about some complicated medical procedure. It's about making simple, smart adjustments. So this next part is all about actionable steps you can start taking today to give your medicine the best possible chance to do its job.
Let's walk through these 5 rules together. Number 1, and this is the most important, check the timing. This is non-negotiable. Look at the bottle, talk to your pharmacist. If it says, take on an empty stomach, you have to follow that instruction to the letter. Number 2, avoid overeating, particularly around the time you take your medicine. Big, heavy meals, especially ones full of fat and sugar, are the worst offenders. They create the biggest traffic jams. Number 3, reduce snacking. The goal here is simple. Create a clean, empty window for the medicine. A great rule of thumb is to aim for a 2-hour no-food period before you take your pill and another 2 hours after. Give it space. Number 4, use water wisely. Always take your pills with a full glass of plain water. This helps them dissolve correctly. Don't use juice, and definitely don't use soda. And finally, number 5, review your lifestyle. A healthy, stable body is a more receptive body. Good sleep, regular exercise, and a balanced overall diet create the foundation for everything else to work better.
And this brings us to what might just be the most powerful strategy of all for solving this problem. You need to create a clean slate inside your body. And the most direct way to do that is with short-term fasting, or what some people call intermittent fasting. By creating longer, more deliberate gaps between your meals, you can guarantee that your digestive system is empty. You can give your medicine that perfectly clear, wide-open runway it needs to be absorbed fully and quickly. It's really a modern solution for a very modern problem.
So, as we start to wrap this up, what's the big idea here? What should we take away from all this? Well, it's really about more than just when to swallow a pill. It's about shifting our mindset. It's about taking a more active, thoughtful, and frankly, more complete approach to our own health. And this is the point I really want you to remember. We sometimes think of medicine as a magic bullet. You take the pill and it fixes the problem, end of story. But that's just not how it works. Your medicine is a partner. It's an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but for that tool to work the way it's designed, you have to create the right conditions for it. Your choice is about what and when you eat. That's your side of the partnership. The medicine can't do it all alone.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. A pill sitting in a bottle is just potential. It's our habits, our daily choices that unlock that potential.
You now have the knowledge and the power to make these small, simple changes to clear that runway inside your body and make sure your medicine can work at full strength. The only question left is, are you going to give your medicine the fighting chance it truly deserves? Thanks so much for your time.